Hello and welcome to another Gprl race for Season 4. This is round number 2 at the Bahrain Grand Prix. Just getting started off with the qualifying. Now, you'll notice that it's a slightly not so popular voice commentating today. That is because the main commentator, Alex, isn't feeling a little bit under the weather at the moment, so
Just a little bit.
I'll be doing the majority of the commentary. You'll probably pitch in now and again, but I'll be doing the most of it as we can see a few cars coming out. So
what do you mean?
Head over to you.
What do you mean? Least? What do you say? Not as popular or something? Everyone loves Ryan. You can't not love Ryan.
Yeah. Okay. we'll go with that then.
Yeah. Anyway, welcome back, guys. If you can't tell, a little bit ill. January has taken its toll on me, and I've been bedbound for the last couple of hours. Anyway, priorities, we're back for Gprl. So round 2 of our 15 race season. Ryan, shall we have a little preview of it before we get going?
Just this race in general, or
I think just this race. Bit both. We can time in. Oh, Marcus has been disqualified. That's interesting.
Oh, I think I saw him just parked on the track. I wonder what's happened to him.
Well, that's interesting because he's the championship leader. So, right. Anyway, yeah. Give us a quick run through, Ryan.
Well, looking at the qualifying session at the moment, I think everyone is out on a lap bar, maybe 2 or 3 cars. So it's going to be pretty busy on the track, I'd reckon. So there's going to be a lot of trouble maybe with letting other cars past. But yeah, you can see first few cars. I think Bahrain was the first one to come out of the pits, followed by Tyler and Yannick. So be interesting to see how well they do, as I think this is Bahrain's lap. No, it's not. So
is it not? I think it is Bahrain on the lap. Just so I'm setting it up. Either way.
Yeah. I think this is it now. But yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how well. Oh, 2 cars have just retired.
Oh, have they?
It might have been a bit of contact between
Danny
the both of
and
them.
Philip, 2 new drivers this year for Gprl. I was just about to mention. I think one thing to mention is the amount of drivers. I think we have absolutely smashed the driver record for Gprl.
Yeah, absolutely. I think at some point, Force India, if Hugo's gone wide, I believe that's at the fast right-hander.
Yeah, just before the hairpin.
Yeah. Which, that's one thing to mention, is this race last season, I think I lost count of how many people spun out at the fast right-hander, so it'll be interesting to see if, well, they've learned from last season and we hopefully won't have as many spins going into the fast right-hander.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned last season because I think that was the previous record of 15 drivers, that was, where Felipe did obviously win from the back of the grid. Felipe returning, actually, reserving for the Williams team, so you love Felipe, he's a really nice guy, and videographer sort of for Gprl, does some videos here and there. Anyway, 26.9 from Felipe, followed by 27.9, so a whole second later from Alex. On medium tyres though, is that the hardest compound available? Yes, it is. It's quite an aggressive strategy.
Pretty sure,
yeah.
It's very bold. I mean, qualifying the slowest tyre, I mean, well, he obviously knows what tyre wear is like around here, so he's kind of doing what he did at Britain, where I believe he did pit to go on to the hardest compound in the last race, so I think he wants to start on the hardest compound because he knows that tyre wear is going to be a nightmare around this track.
Clearly, and teammate of Gprl Season 3 champion Felix, also on that same medium tyre strategy, wrapping a new helmet I've seen 4 today, on a 27.9, just a couple of hundredths quicker than his Spanish counterpart, if you will. And up in P2 currently in the Force India, so it's not a bad debut for him so far. I mean, he's only done 1 lap, but at P2, he stuck it on P2. And what do you take on that, Ryan?
Yeah, definitely. Fantastic lap for him. Although he's 8 tenths off, but do remember that's comparing the time to the previous champion. But I feel that there's a lot of drivers that either haven't gone or maybe threw away their lap just at the end. So I think he'd have to go out again at least and really try and make the most out of it. I think at the moment he could be in about P7, P8 by the time everyone does their proper laps towards the end of the session.
Yeah,
So it's
that's
very
not
good
bad.
at the moment to have kept it, considering there's a few cars below him, but most of them are on the hardest compounds, so it does make sense for him to be going faster than them.
Yeah, and I believe this is Alex on another lap. So obviously the medium tyres, you wouldn't expect them to degrade quickly. They are quite a long-lasting tyre, so a lot of drivers actually, you can see on the graphic on the screen, a lot of drivers opting for the medium tyre, which is quite interesting. I didn't expect this many, so we could see quite a lot of medium tyre strategies. And Ryan, do you have an idea what the strategy could be like here? Obviously, if you qualify on the super soft, does that mean you're doing a two-stop, or is there possibility for a bit of change?
Well, from last season, I'm pretty sure we can agree that it's going to be a two-stop for, yeah, definitely a two-stop if you're on the super soft. Maybe super soft to 2 sets of softs. But I think if you qualify on the mediums, you could stretch out a one-stop. But around Bahrain, that's quite risky because obviously with the tyre wear, once you reach that sort of value where your tires start to degrade, you lose a lot of time, especially with all the tight corners that just rip through the tires like they're nothing. So
Alex into the pits. So a little bit of practice for him. So I don't think that was a proper lap time. I wasn't quite watching his telemetry, but yeah, I think tyre temperature is going to be something to keep an eye on. Obviously, they will really ruin your tyres and ruin lap time as well if they do go, you know, high. So that will be something on the driver's mind to try and keep temperatures as low as possible. You guys, rookie, did manage to score points in his last outing, which is something we did briefly mention in the podcast, which should be up very soon. We've got 2 rookies. This is Amar. Amar in the Renault. He is currently 1.7 seconds nearly off the pace, but up in P7. So 2 rookies, 6th and 7th. How's their day been so far from your perspective, Ryan?
It's been very good. I mean, yes, they're a little bit off the pace, but then again, they're still rookies, so maybe they like obviously when you're new to the Gprl, you get quite a lot of nerves going through your body, so
Right.
they're maybe
Yep.
still feel a little bit nervous, like trying to settle into the league and stuff, which is something I noticed. I was pretty nervous and
Same,
it was
yeah.
quite
Ooh,
you guys
big
going
moment, yes.
for drifting.
Bit of a drift.
Oh, nice.
Well
He
held
knows,
from
he
him.
knows he's on stream, so
Yeah, hello you guys.
showing off a little bit.
Oh, Felipe, P6, welcome back on soft tyres, so that's interesting. Good luck from Felipe. Anyway, sorry, Ryan, what were you saying?
I was just saying how the rookies, they're maybe still trying to settle in a little bit. They're probably still a little bit nervous, so that will get to them. But hopefully it shouldn't affect them too much. I mean, you guys going from the last race, he did really well considering he was surrounded by lots of experienced drivers. So I think he can definitely handle the pressure. But I think in terms of the qualifyings, if he just improved a little bit more, I think he could try and compete with some of the people. Not, yeah, some of the drivers. Maybe not like some Bahrain, Felix, Marcos, and Felipe. Maybe some of the how do I explain it? People that aren't new, but they're not very experienced, like in the middle.
Okay, so the likes of Raul or
Yeah.
I know what you mean. I know I know what you mean. Oh, I believe that was that Steve going for a bit of a moment over the curb. Something to point out. I've just seen. Oh, that's Hugo. Was it Hugo? I think it was one of the Force Indias that was round.
The,
Was it
second place?
Alessio? Yes, Alessio. Do
That's
bear with us. Just adjusting to names. Moraine did go out on soft tyres, but he's brought it back into the garage. Other drivers on soft tyres is Alex in the Mercedes, then Felipe obviously setting his lap. Then it's you guys, Amar, Steve on the soft tyres again, looking to qualify on the middle compound. Then it's Yannick, Raul, and Jarno all quite low down. What do you take on that, Ryan?
Oh, it's looking a bit like Britain again, but I think it's just getting used to the track and the temperatures. Maybe because like I said in the last race, we know that Steve and Yannick, Raul and Jarno, they're all very quick drivers. But I think, going by Britons, they didn't have the best of luck in qualifying, as we heard from Steve in the podcast.
Yep.
So I think they're just trying to get to grips with the track, and at some point towards the end of the session they might make a surprise leap up the table.
Yeah, possibly with Jarno going out on the softest compound tyre, so you'd expect him to leap up. But you know, talking about Yannick, the Sabers, he goes P8 on the medium tyre, just behind you guys. So very close there. Currently, drivers out of the top 10. Hugo yet to set a lap. He seems to be really struggling in Gprl this season. I can't remember. I don't think he did compete in Silverstone. But he goes P13, a couple of seconds off the pace, albeit P13. Do you think it would be? Do you think it would benefit? Oh, sorry, Jarno goes P2. Completely missed that. That's very tight at the top, less than a tenth of a second. Sorry for missing that. Jarno seems on the pace again, Ryan.
Yeah, definitely. But I think, as much as one say, yes, he's very close to pole position, he is on the softest compound. That's really going to affect him after 5-6 laps or so. He's really going to start feeling the rear tyres. So it would
Bahrain
be
also on those tyres.
Yeah. So yeah. Yes, they are. It's good because we can sort of see just how quick they are compared to the softs. It doesn't look like they're incredibly quick because the softs are still like 3/10 off of them, maybe 3 to 5/10 off of the super soft. So the pace is quite similar. So it could actually be a bad thing for
Possibly.
the super softs. If the super softs were at least a second or so quicker, then it would be ideal to use them. But with the gap that there is at the moment, it's unlikely that they'll perform very strong at the start of the race.
Yeah, I have just been watching Alex go around in the Mercedes, and through the final sector split, he was about 800ths up on Morain's time on the soft tyres. So Alex clearly shown he's got some pace before he pulled into the pits, and that could be quite interesting for the race, showing that the softs do have some pace, and we might see him challenge on those tyres. Mm-hmm. So, looking into the final 4 minutes of the session, who's your pick for pole, Ryan?
Oh, it's a tight one, but I think I'm gonna have to go with either Moraine or maybe even Alex in the Mercedes, because he's done an impressive job so far in the Mercedes car. So I think he could definitely challenge for pole today. Steve as well, I think he'll be coming out on the super soft, because I'm seeing on the telemetry both Ferraris have just come out. So, and they're both on the super softs, I believe. So
okay.
Oh no, Raul's on the soft.
Is Raul on the soft? Ah yes, Raul is on the soft.
So it looks like they might be doing a little bit of a different strategy between the two of them. Like we said before, how this season there's been a lot more communication between the drivers. Maybe they're deciding, well, one driver goes on one strategy and one driver goes on the other, and just like to see how well they do on differing strategies. It could be reverse strategies, but it's good to see that that shows a little sign of communication between the both of them, instead of them qualifying on the same tyre. So there's a little gap between them, so they spend less time battling with each other, and they focus on their strategy rather than having to worry about the other Ferrari getting into the mix. So yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how the Ferraris pull off the sort of differing strategy, because I think most teams are going for the same strategy for both drivers.
Yep.
Because I think Felix and
Moraine.
Felix is on the soft, so
Well, Felix's best lap was on the mediums, so if he does not improve, he will be starting on those. So it might be tactical from Felix to back off on this lap, and then actually start on the mediums. But then again, we were talking about the pace of the softs, and that is if Felix does come out. He's currently still in the garage, so that is a bit of an unknown at the minute. And currently, Alessio up in P5. That's very, good job from him. Just tell me that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's shown some impressive pace, especially for, I believe, yeah, this is his first race. He didn't compete in Silverstone or the test race, so he hasn't done any races prior to this. Yeah, he's qualified really high up, and he's qualifying above the likes of Felix, Felipe, which, to be fair to him, it's been a while.
Yeah, but both proven Gprl race winners in Felipe and Felix, also Yannick and Raul, other Gprl race winners, so he's not done too bad for himself, has Alessio, and maybe he might be able to jump a couple more on this lap.
He's dropped down to P6 as Tyler goes into third place.
Yes, really Tyler. Yes, of course, I was going to mention
he retired.
Tyler, so yeah, that'll be him retiring from the session. That's a little rule that is run within leagues. Well, we don't enforce it, but just to speed it up a little bit, you retire when you've done your fastest lap. He wouldn't get around for another lap, so there'll be no point in him staying in the session. So he can now watch. He's done the best he can do. So I was going to mention Tyler. He was there for about half a lap in Silverstone before he binned it on the exit of Beckett's. Do you think with a clean race and no hand cramps this time he can get in the mix?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's shown off his pace here, 2/10 off of the reigning champion on the same compound. That's very impressive from him. But yeah, hopefully he doesn't have any more hand cramps. Hopefully he doesn't develop any new problems during the race. Hopefully it's a nice clean race for him. I think he could definitely challenge for second or maybe even first. It's be quite a challenge considering Bahrain will have clean air in front of him. So
definitely, and just watching Bahrain on his lap now. It is all to play for, and obviously with the closest Gprl season we've had yet, I say most full. We did have a full grid last year, although not very many, or a few less active drivers. But yeah, obviously as we mentioned earlier, smashing the record for the most drivers in a Gprl race. We will get a day when there's a full grid. We will get there. But watching Bahrain come through the final. Start his final sector. Now I didn't see his split, but from what I've seen so far, it looks to have been a decent lap through the final corner. A little bit conservative on entrance, a little bit of oversteer on the exit. He's going to the line. Can he improve on his lap time? He can. 26.3. That's a good lap time, you'd say. And Ryan, what sort of things were we looking at in the WhatsApp group? What sort of times were there?
Oh, I believe they were in. I think Marcos reported a 25.7 or something like that. I don't remember. It was quite a while ago that.
Yannick, sorry to cut you off there, Ryan. Sorry to cut you off, but Yannick was giving Yano a little toe. Alex goes fastest into pole position. Can Yano do anything about this? No, he can't. P3, Felix P4, Raul P5 on the soft. Good effort from the two of those to get up into P4. And P5, Steve up into P7, and Yannick P12. So Yannick did provide a tow for his teammate, but it wasn't quite enough. So the top three is Mercedes, Red Bull, and Sauber, or the new Alfa Romeo Racing. Not sure if you've heard of that, but they did in fact.
I just read it today.
Yeah, we were on about.
If only this was real life, where the Saubers were challenging for the top.
You never know; it might happen in future years. But
we're having a bit.
We are having a bit argy-bargy. But yeah, good effort from Alex there. And what we did mention on the podcast, if you haven't seen it, of course, link in the. Not in the description, on the channel somewhere, it'll be up soon. We did mention Alex possibly playing a wingman role after Silverstone, but I think he's proved that he's no wingman, and he's got the pace.
Yeah, I would agree on that. I mean, my verdict was very correct there. Oh,
Was that
Jesus,
Raul?
Raul has
What's happened
crashed
there?
out. I have no idea. I think I have no idea what's happened there. I don't know how someone's coming that quickly, but back to Alex, which Alex has spun around on the track now apparently. Oh no, he's crashed again into one of the
What's
Red
happened?
Bulls.
What's
I think that
happened
was
with the AI?
I have no
Anyway.
idea. But my verdict was pretty correct about Alex definitely challenging for the top, and obviously we saw in Silverstone, second place, just behind his teammate who is dead last, so be interesting to see how
That could be interesting. He will get a free choice.
Driver on the front,
And one driver at the back.
So it's all to
I think
play
we're in
for.
for quite an interesting race. Also, Danny,
Yeah.
who did retire, didn't get a chance to race last time.
Indeed.
So, you know, that's going to be the first time we get to see him race. Here are the final qualifying results. A little bit more spaced out between the top 7 than it was in Silverstone, but albeit still very close, and we're in for quite an interesting race. It'll be interesting to see what the Force India of Alessio and last year's race winner Felipe can do. Then there's the debuting Amar, and just outside the points is Ugaitz, Yannick, Karim, Hugo, Danny, Philip, and Marcos, who will all get a free choice of tyres. So it's all to play for on the race. And
yeah, and also Tyler with qualifying in P6. He's in a very comfortable position, but he's going to have a lot of pressure from him from in front and also behind. It's going to be quite tricky to advance, but there's going to be a lot of quick drivers behind him, so it'll be interesting to see how he handles the sort of pressure in the race.
Of course, I'm talking about quick drivers behind Marcos. Obviously stopped on the track, not quite sure what happened, but obviously we saw his pace in Silverstone. He was setting fastest lap after fastest lap. He was doing it for fun by the end of the race. What do you think is possible for Marcos today? Because, you know, would you go as far as saying a win if he keeps his nose clean, or is that one step too far?
Well, I mean, going by his last race, you saw just how much of a dominant lead he managed to pull out in just 4 or 5 laps or so. So, when he gets in clean air at any point during the race, we know that he's really going to be pushing to close up the gap. So, it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, at the back, not much fresh air, but oh, it's the formation lap.
Formation lap, yeah. I nearly got caught very off guard there.
Yeah.
Thing is, last time they didn't put a formation lap on, so we were caught off guard equally. But yeah, continue, Ryan. Sorry, cut you off.
But yeah, I think Marcos definitely has a good chance to move up the field. I feel that I'm not dissing anyone, but he shouldn't have too much trouble going up the field until he gets to about Karim and Yannick. That's when he might have a little bit of trouble, but for the first few positions he shouldn't have too much trouble getting past.
Yeah, and just to note, Marcos, the only person in the field to start on the medium tyre. All Philip, Danny, Hugo, Karim, Yannick, and you guys with the free choice of tyres, choosing the soft tyre. And then it's obviously Amar, Felipe, both on soft. Moraine and Alex disqualified from the formation lap. But yeah, the top 3 on super soft, then it's Felix and Raul on soft, before Tyler, the only American driver to compete in this league, I do believe, in the Haas team. So racing for his country, up in P6. It's Steve, again, not with an incredible qualifying, but we saw exactly what he did last time qualifying on the harder tyre. So you know, it is all to play for. You know, you could argue there's 7, maybe 8. You know, never discount Felipe up in down in P9. You know, you could argue there's 7 proper candidates for today's race.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of competition for the race win today, and obviously with Steve, I want to say that the incident at Silverstone involving the likes of Felix and I believe it was Yannick, I believe some of those incidents did help Steve a little bit to get up the field. I'm surprised there was no safety car during the race. But then again, no one really crashed on
Yeah, I
track.
think
There wasn't a safety car.
when Felix went off, he sort of got back going quickly, didn't he?
Oh yeah, so he did.
And now we just wait for Marcos to join up onto the back of the grid. And then we'll be ready to go to 5 red lights.
Oh,
I can't see. Yep, I'm with you on that one. Here we go.
I have to go to the cockpit camera to get
5 red lights. Ahead of round 2.
And away we go.
It's green in Bahrain. Not a bad start from Alex. It's Moraine struggling off the line. Yano's got Moraine really struggling. Oh, there's contact. Oh
Massive
dear.
crash.
That's not going to be good. As 3 drivers off, 2 Rebels and the Sauber. Alex inherits the race lead before it's Raul, then Steve. Steve with an incredible start up into P3. It's Tyler followed by Alessio, sorry, looking up the inside. Felipe's got himself up into P7, battling with the Renault of Amar. This is Marianne trying to come back through the field. That was a massive crash and something that we will have to look at later. Meanwhile, Hugo struggling. Felix to P11. There's a little bit of contact further back. Where's Yannick? Yannick's got up into P9. Yeah, wow. 3 wide, didn't go, and obviously we saw what happened. Little review of the start, Ryan. How was that?
I want to looking at it from the front. It looked like that the Sauber did just swerve across into the Mercedes cars, because obviously the Sauber was on the outside, but I don't know if he was squeezed by the Red Bull or not. But it looked like that the Sauber just turned into the Red Bulls and pushed them off the track.
Well, in terms of the Sauber, Danny, I believe, has gone off. I don't know if he has front wing damage, but he's been overtaken. Philip also went off through the fast right-hander. He's dropped to last, followed by Daniel Gianna up into P15. I think the positive to take is that I don't think any drivers have damage, and one thing that we should point out, oh, there's a lot of battling, sorry for missing that out, that's Force India off, I believe that is, oh, is that Moraine? Moraine's spun round. Moraine round, so down in P14, this has been quite a hectic start. And we're struggling to keep up with it all. We've got 3 wide coming into turn 4 now. This is Alessio on the inside of Karim. Karim on harder tyres. There's a little bit of contact with you guys as Toro also looks down the inside. Karim round the outside. Can't make it work. So you guys up into P11. It's been a crazy start. Felipe's managed to pick his way up into P6. Yannick picked his way up into P7, followed by Felix in P8. And one thing to notice for Felix, not Felipe, sorry, get very sideways. One thing that shouldn't be noted is that the time penalties that were acquired at turn 1, I believe Felix got a 10-second penalty.
He did.
If possible, if he doesn't serve it at his pit stop, we can remove that. We will have to see how things plan out, because
I'm actually just looking at the standings. Jarno, it says here that he has received 2 10-second penalties, Moraine's received 2, and Felix has received 2. I don't know if that's a glitch or if they actually received 2 10-second penalties each. So it could be up to 20 seconds worth of penalties for Felix, Moraine, and Jarno.
I've got 2 for each, so we will look at taking that out. Meanwhile, this is Felipe battling with Yannick side by side through turn number 2. Good defending there from Felipe as Felix is going to look to get involved. He's going to stick behind and stay there for now. Yannick down the inside of turn number 4. He's going to squeeze them out. That's going to be Yannick up into P6. Not that easy though, as Felipe comes back on the exit around the outside. That's a good move there from Felipe. Oh, Felipe's gone off. I'm not sure if there was contact there.
Did get hit.
Do you think there was a little bit of contact?
A little bit sideways.
Maybe, but anyway, this is Felix back up into P6. Jarno going quite wide. Hugo's managed to pick his way up into P7, and where's the other Force India? He's pitted. Alessio has pitted. Also, Philip in the Toro Rosso into P17. So it could be interesting potential for Force India if their 2 drivers can match what they did in qualifying. Meanwhile, up at the front, it's same order. Alex pulling out nearly 2 seconds to the car behind. Oh, is that another car round? Yes, that's a Toro Rosso round. I thought it was Moraine there. I'm too used to seeing a Toro Rosso and thinking Moraine. But in terms of Moraine, he is just behind you guys in P12. His title rival Marcos is in P10 and on the back of Felipe.
Yeah, it's been a very interesting first few laps with collisions and whatnot. I think that, well, now Marcos knows that his title rival's behind him. Whoa, that was a very risky move from Marcos there. I think now that Marcos knows that Moraine's right behind him, he knows that, well, as long as he finishes above Moraine here, he'll still be in the lead of the championship. And it looks like he will be able to, because obviously Marcos on the medium tires, but also to note Moraine, he is on the super soft, but he's had a few spins in the opening lap, so his tires are going to be really warm and they're going to be taking a lot of tire wear, so he might not be able to catch up to Marcos actually, just due to his tire wear.
Of course, Marcos a little bit wide there through the left-hander. See if Felipe can come back at him. He will have DRS, and will he be able to make a move around the outside? Be a tough ask. Felipe's tyres do already look quite worn actually, so that could be something to point out. Obviously we did mention in the podcast that tyre wear is expected to be quite high, and mentioned in qualifying probably expecting a 2-stop. But yes, Felix has picked his way up into P5. The Rebel team will be happy with that, obviously, after the calamities of the first lap. The gap at the front is coming down, a couple of tenths that lap. Did Raul close in, then it's ooh, Raul did get very sideways out of turn 1. But yeah, currently Ferrari, I think they'll be pleased with the 2-3 considering where they started on the grid.
Yeah, especially going back to Steve with his fantastic start, gaining 4 positions in what looked like just half a lap as Philip gets another penalty.
Moraine has got past. Sorry to cut you off there, Ryan, but Moraine did get past Marcos after Marcos was pushed wide by Felipe. Oh,
Moraine!
That's you guys round.
You guys, Kareem, and oh, it's not been the best day for Moraine. Moraine's just had bad luck after bad luck.
I think one thing that's going to be crucial here is to keep a cool head, and I think that, dare I say, would be a penalty coming the Toro Rosso's way. Very aggressive, very weird dive, because he looked as if, I mean, I didn't see him. He did seem as if he was nowhere. But yeah, sorry to cut you off. Oh, hang on, Alex has got a 5-second stop and go penalty for corner cutting.
Oh.
Right, so that throws this race up into contention. Raul just 4 tenths behind Alex.
Oh, right up behind him. So we'll definitely see an overtake on this straight.
Into the pits.
DRS,
into the pits. So
he's in already.
As we said, expecting early stops. What tyre is he going on to? Would you expect the mediums?
It looks like the mediums, yeah, unless it's glitched on my screen.
5 seconds. Tyler
really
also into the pits.
Him.
That is going to hurt. As you can see, dropping onto the medium tyres he goes. And
Marcos just overtakes him. So go up into P8, just behind Felipe.
And this is Jarno and Moraine battling. Jarno down the inside of Moraine, going to squeeze him out. Moraine's still there on the inside, though. He'll force the room. And Moraine keeps the position. Been a bit of a measurable race so far for these guys. It's current 1-2 for Ferrari. Moraine's teammate Felix up in P3. So you know, at this rate, it's going to be interesting to see how the championship standings pan out, because you know, we could be looking at Raul at the top of the standings if things stay as they are. Although I highly doubt that they will. As Karim pits onto super soft, so Karim's on a committed 2-stop at least. Didn't Karim start on the softs? I think he might have.
I didn't actually have a look as one of the Williams, Danny Jr. has spun around.
I think he might have. Does he have front wing damage? I can't quite. Yes, he does.
Maybe. Oh, Philip. I think he gained another 10-tick penalty.
Yeah, Philip's struggling.
I could honestly. I think I can see Philip retiring at some point soon, because I think he's retiring.
Yeah, there you go. He's off.
He's Jesus. You could just retire instead of doing that, but okay, that works.
He's getting some airtime. Don't blame him.
Yeah.
But yeah, Something tells me things aren't going to stay as they are. This is Marcos in the slipstream of Felipe. Felipe, yeah, rightly probably doesn't put up too much of a fight. Saying that, he's going to come back down the inside. Bit of a dive bomb there from the Brazilian, but he's made it work. Marcos still there on the inside. He'll have to leave the space. And you can see Felix starting to struggle on it. Not Felix, Felipe. Sorry, I'm going to get these muddled up. Felipe starting to struggle on his tyres. And he's just going to stick behind Marcos now, who is just behind Hugo, who's gone wide, yep. And there's Philip, the inevitable retirement. Ooh, Hugo had a little bit of a moment there, and he's going to get overtaken by Felipe for that. So Felipe up into P7, bit of a squeeze there of Hugo. Hugo, not, is he still down there? No, not quite. So yeah, that is that. Meanwhile, Yannick managed to get himself up into P5 behind the Renault of Amar on his debut. So talking about debuts, Ryan, how's Amar's been? Quite good so far in my eyes.
Yeah, it's been a very good debut for him. He's been gifted very kindly at the start of the race to be up into P4 already. So he's been given quite a lot of good luck, considering also dodging all the incidents that were happening in front of him. I think he can definitely be in contention of top 5, maybe top 6, because of course you've got Marcos behind, who's showing he's rapidly catching up on the mediums, so we could see him overtaking quite a lot of these cars before he has to pit.
Yep, and this is Yannick on Amar. You've round the outside. That was from very far back from Yannick. If you can make this work, it would be quite a good move.
Oh!
Talking about Amar, commentator's curse.
That's a bit confusing.
Oh no, there's contact! Was that you guys? That was you guys.
That's you guys, yeah. Right,
okay, so that could be quite interesting. 5-second stop-go penalty for him. That gifts Bahrain P8. And Bahrain just about 4 seconds behind Marcos now. But wow, Marcos has come up just behind Yannick. So another crazy instalment so far of the Bahrain GP.
Yeah, definitely. I'm already seeing 2 penalties for you guys for earlier and the Renault for coming onto the track very dangerously. And Bahrain was actually behind as well. I don't think he got caught. I think he got away.
Yeah, he did get away. Meanwhile, Marcos got past Yannick.
I can definitely see, especially I think for the Renault driver, I'm seeing quite a strict penalty on him because he came onto the track very dangerously. So that's going to have quite a lot of stern words for that one. I think you guys, his one wasn't as major as the Renault car, but yeah, the Renault car could be suffering some hefty penalty points. 4, quite maybe possible. 5. Yeah. That might be a bit generous because
12.
I mean, he's just instant ban.
Yeah.
I don't believe it. I believe that has happened before, like an instant qualifying ban for one of the drivers.
Yeah, we do qualifying bans. I've been banned from a race once. Silverstone Season 2, I had a bit of a cafe out of a race. Meanwhile, Bahrain is in the pits onto mediums. He's going to the end. Yeah, I didn't have the cleanest race, admittedly, not intentionally. But yeah, I did get a race ban. So Gprl trivia for you there.
Oh, Alex has left the session. We might have some connection problems.
Have we got more connection problems? Just like what Raul had, exactly. Right, so that's interesting. I think he's progressing through the field quite nice. That's going to hand, well, if Bahrain does catch up, who is on fresh mediums. It says softs on my screen. Is that Hugo's round? Yep. Can you just confirm that Bahrain is on mediums?
Bahrain is on softs.
Is he on softs?
It does say medium on the telemetry.
I believe, yeah, he's on mediums. He's on mediums.
He must be on the mediums.
Yeah.
It does show softs on my screen.
Yeah, it shows softs on my screen, but mediums on telemetry. So, anyway, the gap at the top's coming down. You can tell the soft tyres are going off by visually, and you can see by the pace. But yeah, if you look at the gap between the two Ferraris, it's coming down, and this is effectively the battle for the race lead. And I haven't really been watching the gap. Oh, that's Danny round again. He's been struggling. Yeah, have you been watching Felix? This isn't me throwing shade at him, but What's the gap been like between him?
I haven't. I've been mainly looking a little bit further down the field, especially with lots of spins and stuff. I haven't seen much, but it does look like that. The gap is sort of balancing out a little bit. He sort of goes up by a tenth and then down by a tenth.
Yeah.
So he's kind of got a balance on his hands, but it looks like that Marcos is catching up as well.
Alessio into the pits on fresh and mediums. But yeah, the gap at the front. Ooh, nose to tail as Raul, clearly struggling with his tyres. Steve did tell us last week on the podcast that these two are in parties together, so they will be talking to each other. And will we get a Raul, Steve is faster than you? Please confirm you understood the message.
Yeah.
So through the final corner, you can see Raul struggling. Steve not wanting to get too close to his teammate Raul into the pits from the lead of the race. Obviously, as we mentioned, the gap is coming down from Felix 4 seconds now. So Felix's tyres obviously in a much better condition than the Ferraris. So you know, he could be there or thereabouts. So just as you were saying, the gap was balancing off. He's starting to close up now. So maybe we'll see Felix get in between the two Ferraris. Other than that, I think some battles have sort of started to widen out in the field. This is where strategy sort of comes in hand quite a bit. Marcus has got himself up into P3. Is that a yellow flag?
Spun round again.
Is it Tyler?
Yeah. I believe there's another incident. Oh, Hugo spun round again. It looks like he's got front wing damage now, so...
That looks like a lot of damage. I'm not sure if there was contact with Amar, because he seemed to slow down. Maybe he's just letting him through. But yeah, a couple of drivers really struggling today, which is a shame. But other drivers very much on pace. For example, Marcos, Yannick. Felipe's not having a bad job. Talking with Felipe, side by side with Yannick, and that's Felipe breezed past up into P4. So Felipe, good time management from the Brazilian. He's up into P4. So lost the first last year. Are we going to get a ninth to first this year? I'm going to be completely honest, I doubt it. But it'd be nice. As you can see, Yannick really struggling with his tyres now. Raul's off. Raul's round. Is he? No, he's not. Well held there from Raul, but he's pushing maybe a little bit too hard. And yeah, that's going to be him off. Meanwhile, Felix is in the pits now. He had a decent in-lap onto medium tyres.
Super soft.
Super soft.
Sorry, mediums, yeah.
Yeah.
The glitch is happening again.
Yeah, there is.
We do apologise for confusion before anyone else gets confused as to what tyres they're actually on. Go by Alex's word, not mine, because I could be completely wrong.
Nah, I think we have the same problem. Like we had. Saying that, this is Felix coming out very close to Tyler. Raul with a 3-second time penalty, so that could ruin his chances of a race win. I believe if Steve does get a win, he could be close to inheriting the lead of the championship. If I'm not wrong, I'm not quite sure. Meanwhile, these two, the Sauber and the Williams of Yannick and Felipe, are still at it, and they're both still out on their very old soft. You can see both drivers struggling through the double left-hander.
Yeah.
Back on the power, DRS for Felipe, and we still got Felix and Tyler battling. Felix looking around the outside of Tyler of the double right-hander. That'd be quite a bold move. There's a blue flag of Danny in there. Hopefully he doesn't get anyone caught up, or anyone get caught up with him. This is going to be Felix. Past Tyler. Ignore my voice. I am dying. And that's not too much of a tricky move for Felix. Meanwhile, a little bit further forward, Steve's still powering on, still out. So just like we saw in Silverstone, good tyre management from Steve Ryan.
Yeah, I mean he's also shown off what Marcus pulled off in the race in at Silverstone. It looks like they're having a little bit of switcheroo. One of them shows off their tyre management in one race, and then in the next race it's the other way around.
Maybe.
But then again, Marcos is on the harder compound, so he will be able to go easily a few laps longer, unless Steve manages to stretch it out so that he pits at the same time as Marcos. In that case, then Steve would most definitely take the win.
Well, yeah, unless Marcos can close up in the final stage. But yeah, you gotta think that Steve's tyres would be absolutely off the cliff at this point.
Yeah. As well as Yannick as well, who's still on the soft
Yannick,
tyres.
yes, and Felipe did pit into medium, so it'll be interesting where he comes out, although it does say super softs on the car. This is a glitch that needs to be sorted realistically. It's causing fellow F1 commentators depression.
Yeah.
Anyway, will Steve pit this lap? Yes, I believe he will. Yes, Steve into the pits. Getting it slowed down.
The last thing he needs is a stop-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane.
You guys round again. I believe that'll be another front wing needed for the Toro Rosso. Fast right-hander, as you were saying. In qualifying, Alex still dropping back throughout the order. Has he said anything on the group chat regarding that? Meanwhile, Yannick back into the pits.
Not that I know of, but I can have a quick check and see.
I'll have a quick gander.
Marcos said he lost internet connection. That must have been in qualifying, so it's 23 minutes ago. So yeah.
Yeah, nothing yet.
I'm not seeing anything about Alex. No. But let's just hope that he gets it sorted.
Oh,
whether
the Ferraris
it's
are
this race or
battling.
next race. Oh, are they?
That looked
Maybe
like
doing
quite that looked like quite an easy
position.
pass for Raul. So Steve not putting up too much of a fight, albeit Steve on colder tyres, and those, you know, although it was an easy pass, they still held each other up. Felix less than a second behind now, so as I said earlier, Felix could be in this battle. And you think at this point, would it be smart for these two to just sit in a train? Meanwhile, Steve, oh, he's gone wide there. And I think that's pretty much gifted Felix the position, has it? Yes, it has.
Yeah,
Felix
it has.
now splitting the Ferraris. Do you think it would be a smart idea for these two, as Hugo round again, do you think it would be a smart idea for these guys to sit in a train for a couple of laps and catch up to Marcos as he is on older tyres? Do you think that would be a good idea, or do you think that they will battle out?
I think they might have to go for battling because, well, I think they've learned from last race that Marcos in clean air equals race win. So
Yeah.
I think they're just gonna have to push as hard as they can to try and close. Because Raul, well, he's in clean air as well, so he'll be able to close up the gap. I think that he's just gonna have to go for that. He can't really listen to team orders at the moment because he's got quite a challenge ahead of him. He can't be slowing down to help Steve catch up because obviously you've got the Red Bull in between them, which will interfere, especially with Steve, because Steve won't be able to show off the pace that we know that he has. So it'll be up to Raul to try and close down the gap and maybe do a little bit of hold up Marcos, maybe towards the end of the race if he pulls off the move.
Maybe. But another thing that we should point out between Felix and Ralph, if you think back to Silverstone last time, these two did actually come together, if you remember.
Oh yes, of course they did.
Ooh, Yannick on a time penalty there. Oh, Bahrain. Oh, that was very... Bahrain doing a little bit of a Tokyo drift down the hill. Keeping it together in one piece. It's good for Moraine. Really struggling with the rear tyres. I do think Moraine's rear tyres are overheating because I'm watching him on every corner. He's sliding out the rear end, so he's gonna have to try and bring those temperatures down. As you know, overheating rear tyres, you'll just spin out. In a fast corner, you'll go, and on power, you'll go. So, be interested to see if he can bring this down. Anyway, looking back to the front, the gap is coming down between Raul and Marcos. Marcos with another stop to make. And if Marcos pits with this gap, Felix is close, not close enough. If Marcos pits now with this gap, he should come out around, you'd say just behind Tyler, maybe just in front, that sort of space. But if these three get involved in a battle, it could give Marcos a little bit more clean air, and it will be quite incredible if he can win from last place on the grid. Another yellow flag. Another one. Here we go.
Hugo.
Hugo struggling.
I think Hugo is going to be retiring.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's.
That's a wall.
I think he's used up all the front wings in the Force India
He
garage,
has,
so
yeah.
I think he'll have to retire.
I think Lawrence Stroll wasn't on hold to inject another 12 front wings into Force India. Oh, anyway, away from that, Hugo out the session. Felix down the inside of Raul. Raul's going to get a switchback move, and Raul holds the position for the time being. And these two getting very close, and I think they're pretty familiar with each other from Silverstone after the contact. Hopefully there's no more contact. Yeah, all this battling is benefiting Marcos. I'm sure Marcos will know that these two are battling.
He's just a way to pass his teammate right now, I believe, the ghost car.
Yep. Yeah, possibly. And now we're going to watch. We're on board with Felix as he goes down the main straight. DRS activated. I'm sure he'll be in a high ERS mode to try and get past it. That'll be quite an aggressive dive bomb. He thinks better of it. Albeit though Raul quite slow. Bear in mind Raul is on 2 lap older tyres than Felix, so that obviously is showing. And although these guys are battling, the gap's still coming down. 16.9 now, the gap between the top two. Sorry. So yeah, Ryan, past the halfway mark. How we? Give us a quick race rundown. Oh, that's Danny in a wall.
Well, we'll start off with Marcos, of course. Doing just as well as he always does in the clean air, trying to eke out the gap while he's losing a little bit of time to Raul, which, surprisingly, considering they're battling, they're actually still managing to gain on Marcos slightly. That is Raul and Felix. Steve just behind. I guess he's just waiting to make a move, even though he's quite a bit back. Oh, as there's a dive bomb for second place.
Raul forced off the track. A little bit more contact.
Oh, that was a little bit of connection problems.
That was a bit of lag. Raul is round. Is he?
Oh no, he's hit his teammate. Rule number 1.
Wow.
Do not hit your teammate.
So, I don't really know how to explain that. There was contact.
The race rundown. We'll have to go back to this.
Yeah.
First.
Yeah. Quick pause. We're gonna switch video, and so
jump right onto the podcast now.
Yeah, link in the description. Anyway, we're getting these plugs. Meanwhile, Tyler back into the pits. So Tyler was on a 2-stop. He was on the softs. So another set of softs for the Haas driver. He could have some good pace towards the end of the race, actually, thinking about it.
Yeah, because he'll be on the freshest tyres out of the top runners, so it'll be really interesting to see how he pulls that off. Well, I think we should probably go back down to the race rundown, because we were disturbed by
replay.
Raul nearly cause an incident, another stop-go penalty. Felipe doing an incredible job considering
Felipe!
It's been a while.
Congratulations, Felipe. Welcome back.
Yeah.
He does have a Gprl veteran on his tail, though, in Yannick. Yannick, since the start, second most race starts in Gprl history. There's another bit of weekly Gprl trivia for you. Anyway, sorry to cut you off, Ryan. Please continue.
That's okay. Yeah, of course, like you were saying, Yannick just behind Felipe. Looks like he's going to put him under a little bit of pressure with slightly fresh tyres. Bahrain, who's had probably the unluckiest start out of everyone.
Race, not just start, you'd say. Oh,
yeah.
Marcos in the pits. Marcos is in the pits. On soft tyres.
Tyler, of course. Tyler in P8, but he had just pit, so he's got quite a bit of catching up to do. Yeah, Marcos in the pits. Jarno in 9th. He's doing an okay job. I don't think he's going to make much progression from this point forward. Ugait's, which, well, I don't really know what to say at the moment because, well, he's not going to be finishing here because
penalties.
We're probably penalties for him.
My voice is dying. Please don't. Another voice breaks.
Well, we haven't talked about him too much in P11. I can't remember where he started in the race.
I don't think it was top 10, but struggling is Karim. But although he will quite possibly get up into P10 after penalties.
He has gone up 2 positions, Karim, from the start.
He has, so started P13. That's my maths on display.
Force India behind, I keep forgetting his name.
Alessio. Yes, Alessio.
Alessio in 12th place. Not a bad result for him. That's pretty good.
He finished, which is not something that everyone can say.
The Renault,
what's his name?
behind.
What's his name?
Yeah.
Amar, I think his name is. Yes.
I will remember the names for the next race.
We're not
Alex,
being
well,
rude. We're not being rude.
Yes, just very forgetful.
Yeah.
Alex in the Mercedes. I think in terms of Alex,
It was looking good.
can't give him much. It was, yeah.
He was looking so good.
On pole and it
Pulling
just turned
away.
into disappointment.
Yeah, he got that 5-second stop go penalty and never turned around.
Danny, I don't think. Well,
I don't know how
what to say there
representative this
either.
is. Yeah.
He's had a very poor race. I mean, it sounds harsh, but I think a lot of people can agree on me that he's been spinning out a lot in this race. He's probably spun out more than there were total spins in last season's Bahrain Grand Prix, and there was quite a lot.
That is quite a bold statement.
Yeah, I would. Okay, maybe not as many, but a similar amount as there's another yellow flag. Oh, it is Alessio.
Alessio? Was it? Oh, is that front wing damage? Yes.
Yep,
I tell you what, how many
wing.
front wings have we gone through?
I have no idea. Oh, Kareem
Oh,
spun round. Yeah,
yes, he's off.
I was looking on the broadcast camera and I thought the game was glitched, but it turns out he was just in the dirt. So I think he's retiring now. Yep. Oh no, he's not.
Is that him?
I think
to
he's
the
going
pit?
to continue.
Into the pits, it looks like. Yeah, for Kareem.
Oh, Bahrain very close to Yannick here. There's a good battle coming on now.
Here we go. This could get a little bit spicy. Yannick known for his aggressive defending. And obviously Bahrain, well, I don't think you need me to tell you how quick he is. Just look at Gprl Season 3.
Yep.
Marcos fast lap for Grand Prix. This could get interesting between the top guys.
This is where the last 8 or 9 laps are all fastest laps. So
yeah, just
he's only going to get quicker from here. He could get into second place. I don't know about the race win.
I think Steve will be tricky to overtake. Personally.
Yeah.
But I think
we have a Force India on the way of Marcos, so let's hope the Force India allows win.
Yeah, please don't take him out. I mean, if you do, we've got a perfect thumbnail and title, but
yeah, for the podcast.
Yeah,
that'd be a good clickbait title.
Oh, Hugo's out. I have a feeling that we've got a lot to talk about on the podcast tomorrow.
Yeah, there's so much that we're probably gonna forget some things.
Probably, yeah. Anyway, Yannick has slipped just out of DRS range, or I think he's just within. Oh, look, that's a mistake. Yannick's gone slightly wide, and Bahrain will capitalise. Yannick just within DRS of Felipe.
Sorry to butt in, I'm just having a look. Looking at the pace, Marcos is catching up to Steve at an incredible rate.
Yes, he
is.
He's
already 1.2 behind. He's absolutely flying. He must be on hot lap mode or something. He looks like Marcos has got a lot of ERS, but so does Steve. Oh, there's another fast lap.
One.
So
that's
he is
2 out of 2.
Absolutely on it. Look at him. He's
flying.
now under a second.
But
I think he might get the win here because he's got absolutely rapid.
But you have to consider his tyres as well. We saw people who started on the soft, their tyre will go off after 6 or 7 laps. Bahrain has a little look down the inside of turn number 1. Their tyres were going off after 6 or 7 laps, so if Marcos wants this win, he's going to have to push on and get it done soon. Meanwhile, Felipe's managed to pull out a gap in P5, which is a stunning job from him so far, considering he hasn't raced in a while in Gprl. But yeah, Marcos just half a second now to Steve, so if you didn't know the speed of this guy, and one thing to point out, I believe this is it is Alessio perfectly sticking with the two of them, which I thought was quite interesting. Oh, that's I think Steve, I think Steve
Kareem
not putting up too much of a fight, so that's Kareem's day over. So Steve not putting up too much of a fight.
Yeah, we'll see if the Force India wants to go for a move on Steve here.
Bahrain 3-second time penalty, as he's battling. The two are battling side by side through the fast right-hander. That's very close between the two of them. Thankfully, no contact was made, as Yannick does look to be struggling. But yeah, 3-second time penalty for Bahrain, so it's been a bit of a miserable race for him, but he's going to look down the inside now. Just behind for the DRS detection zone, so he's going to push Yannick offline and still get the DRS. Gonna pick up the speed in the DRS, in the slipstream, and that's one of the easiest moves I'll make all season. Breezing past Yannick, and on the brakes there. Yeah, you can see Yannick struggling on his tyres, so you'd expect Bahrain to now close up to Felipe. He's doing a good job up in P5, although here's Yannick coming back. Can he look around the outside? It's always a tricky thing to do, go around the outside of turn number 4, but if you can keep it in there, Bahrain, being very nice to him, leaving the space. This is a great battle between these two. Side by side, Yannick round the outside. That's an incredible move from the Sauber driver. He's going to cover off the inside into turn number 6, I believe, turn number 7. Bahrain going to get it back on the switchback, but can't get it done. So incredible defensive driving there from the Sauber of Yannick.
Yeah, it was fantastic. You always love to see the sort of veterans going at each other, as you can see Bahrain goes down the middle. You always love to see the experienced drivers going side by side round corners. It's truly fascinating. I guess that's what keeps GPRL alive, these battles with the more experienced drivers, and also some of the rookie drivers as well, which that can just show us that, yeah, they've got a lot of talent. They can battle with the experienced drivers, so it shows a lot of potential. Oh, Bahrain's passed again, but I think Yannick is going to go past once again on
the switchback. Not sure which one has DRS. I believe Yannick in the DRS this time.
I don't think any of them do.
I think, yeah, neither of them have DRS, so pure slipstream here for Yannick.
Yeah, I don't think they're using it. Maybe they just forgot, or... But
I think there is a little glitch where if they pass the line close, none of them get Yano into the pits now, so he's got 45 seconds behind him, so I think he's just going to push for fastest laps. But this is Bahrain past Yannick. Yannick not able to make a challenge, so...
Oh, wait. Sorry to interrupt. Can we go back up to Marcos, who's now in DRS range of Felix, as there's a yellow flag. Oh, it's the Williams of Danny.
Yeah, Danny again.
I don't think Danny is putting up much in this race. I think we could be seeing him retire.
Quite possibly, clearly struggling. But yeah, 0.5 of a second separate the top two.
We'll cut onto this just for now. So sorry for the people watching that want to see their favourite driver a little bit lower down. But I think this is going to be the talking point for the last few laps, because this is what we sort of anticipated in a way, sort of last to first. But I think Marcos will then have the record for the biggest position change, because obviously he was 17th, but Felipe was 15th. So Marcos will break a GPRL record if he makes this move. Oh, it's going to be very close.
Round the outside, tries Marcos now. He's going to get squeezed out by Felix. Felix being nice to him, leaving the room.
Oh, he's done it!
And up into P1. Can Felix come back on him? Lagging around a little bit. He's going to look to the inside. No, he's not. So that's Marcos up into P1. And you'd say unless his tyres go off the cliff, 4 more laps in the race remaining. So you can argue there is still space or time left for a bit of a tyre calamity. But
also I think that you see Marcos 6 laps on the softs, but Felix is 13 laps on the mediums, and that's roughly how long the mediums go around a track like this. Well, you can see Bahrain has done 16 laps on the mediums, so as much as the softs are going off, the mediums are going to start to go off as well. Probably, I feel that the mediums will go off before the softs, so I think that this is just where Marcos can pull ahead, which he's doing what he always does. He's pulled out a second already.
Yeah,
so
it is quite impressive.
He's still got a lot of life in those tyres.
I think something to mention is Marcos did go about 19 laps or so on his on his mediums, so yeah, maybe there is a little bit more life than what you just mentioned, Ryan. But if Felix can stay in DRS, you can argue that he's still in with a fighting chance. Obviously a little bit too far back for a dive for the time being, but obviously in the final laps, if we get his tyres off the cliff, we might see a repeat of the real life Grand Prix. But yeah, now we can relax for a moment, and you are right, that will be a GPR record for Marcos if he can hold the position. I mean, even if he doesn't hold the position and he drops to P2, it will still be a record. And the current record holder is Felipe, currently at P5.
At this track as well.
At this track, so, what is it with Bahrain and producing last to first races?
Bahrain seems to be like one of the most like hectic, chaotic races in the calendar, because you always get something at Bahrain, like for example Felipe last season with his last to first, and Marcos doing pretty much the same thing because you can see that he is now over a second ahead of Felix, so there won't be any DRS for Marcos. I believe there's a back marker in front, so I think if Marcos stays behind the Renault,
He'll
he
get
could
DRS.
get DRS on the straight and eke out an even bigger gap. So
course.
I wonder if he'll play this tactically and hope that the Renault doesn't let him pass till the next corner, so he can get DRS. I think now he should be in. So now he should get the DRS on the Renault. Let's hope it. Well, I say we hope he does, but oh, he did. He got the DRS on the. Let's hope that the Renault lets him pass going into turn one.
He doesn't look to be.
Yep.
Oh.
Oh, he's not slowing down.
He doesn't. He's all over the place. This could. No, lets him through quite nicely. But saying that, that does impede Felix. That's another thing we may need to look at. A lot of controversial points for this race. So, Ryan, enjoy getting to bed at 5 o'clock in the morning tomorrow morning.
Don't worry, I don't have anything tomorrow. So, well, apart from the podcast, which I think
link in the description. No, I'm joking.
We should probably address that the podcast. I think. Should we do the podcast a little bit later, just so we can get some more drivers in?
Yeah, I think we'll have to see what's available.
We have to get Marcos in at some point.
I think we should definitely speak to Marcos. Yeah, Marcos,
we need to know his.
What are you having for breakfast? Yeah. I think another driver potentially. I think Bahrain I'd like to speak to. He was scheduled to be on last time, but obviously had to go. And then maybe one of the Sabres.
He said he'd be available. He said he should be available this week, so it'll be really exciting to get to talk to him. It'd also be nice to talk to like some Marcos. We obviously spoke to Felix and Steve last time if they want to maybe join back in.
Raul's been overtaken. These two are battling.
Oh, no, he's got it back.
Looks like a little bit of a switchback move for their Raul.
Marcos is going to have another somewhat dominant win. I would say it's dominant.
Oh yeah.
Considering he started last and now he's got nearly 3 seconds on the car. Yeah. Because if he started first, then yeah, he'd have like a 10, 11 second gap. But I think considering he started last and now he's 2.5 seconds ahead, that's a very dominant win for him.
Oh yeah, of course. We got Felix now, not Felix, sorry, Felipe in the slipstream and DRS activated behind Raul. Felipe goes for a move down the inside of turn number 1.
Oh,
he's up into P4. Either way, good move there from Felipe. Up into P4.
Yeah.
That
was a very good move.
It was.
Felipe.
How's his race been in your eyes?
Oh, it's been fantastic considering he hasn't been here for the start of the season. He's doing a little bit of a Paul di Resta here from, if you remember, from last year at the Williams.
Yes.
Well, except Paul di Resta didn't exactly
2 years ago
show
that
us
was.
what he used to do. So
he did retire eventually in the race, but nevertheless.
Oh, Raul spun.
Is he round?
Raul.
That's going to give Bahrain P5.
Yeah, Bahrain's up. Which Bahrain's had a very good race considering he's had the worst luck out of all the drivers.
Yes.
He's done a very good job to get up into P. It doesn't look like P4's on the cards unless Felipe spins out or something. Oh!
What's happened? Who's round?
The Force India spun just as Felipe was going past. The Force India could have spun into Felipe and done the commentator's curse, but the worst version of it.
Yeah, let's not take out Felipe. Everyone loves Felipe.
Yeah, that was very close though. I saw the Force India spun, but I think he was just wide enough that Felipe wasn't going to be in the mix of anything. The Force India's round again.
Yeah,
what is it with the rookies and spinning round?
Not sure, maybe they're just oh, there's a rear left puncture there for Alessio. So that's probably why he went around a couple of times.
Oh yeah. Raul is battling with Yannick now.
Remember these two? Remember these two?
Raul,
Abu Dhabi?
Raul does have, but Raul does have front wing damage, so
this could be interesting.
It doesn't look like
switchback line.
Oh, he is. Oh, nice switchback. Oh, here we go.
Keep it tidy, boys.
Let's just picture Abu Dhabi for a second, because there was a similar contact in the race before. So,
maybe it's just the night. Maybe it's just these two just just in the night they just hate each other. Maybe that's the thing.
Yeah. Oh, cut back to Marcos. He's
Yep.
now 4 seconds ahead. How?
And he's going to win the race. Yep.
I
So,
need to ask him, what are you doing? Because I need this to win online races.
yeah, well done, Marcos. Good effort from you.
Also, the 10-second time penalty, that means he wins by over 20 seconds.
That
Steve
is
takes
that,
second, but
although
I think we
something
might remove those penalties.
quite possibly.
Those penalties, they were a bit ridiculous, to be honest. So I think we'll say Felix is still second and Steve's third, because... And also Bahrain had a 10-second time penalty as well as Jarno, so I think we will have to... We'll show the results, but I think in the comments we'll have to say that these are the actual results because the penalties were a bit ridiculous. So
of course. Anyway, yeah, Felipe coming home P4. Great drive there from Felipe. I wouldn't give him driver of the day personally. Behind Marcos, I'd put him. But yeah, good drive there from Felipe.
You can't give the driver of the day to anyone else apart from Marcos. 17th to first.
Gprl record. Gprl record.
And also to win by over 4 seconds, that's just incredible.
Yeah, he pulled off the strategy
He's got
perfectly.
some trick up his sleeve. Like he's got some like secret. He's got he's got like the curves from the old F1
he's got
days.
curves.
I think he's got a bit of that on his car because
he's just got a V10 on that.
It's just unreal. Like Marcos, definitely a championship contender now. I mean,
oh, yeah,
if you were doubting it before, then well, you couldn't be any more wrong.
Exactly. And then what could have been for Alex? What could have been?
Could have been a race win for him because he was in the lead and he
had a good gap.
Had a strong lead until incidents happened.
Of course. So, Marcos top step of the podium. That won't change, but we might see Felix getting promoted one place after penalties have been reviewed. So another dominant performance. Another same 3 guys on the podium. No, it's not. No, it wasn't. Was it? No, it wasn't. It was Bahrain on the podium instead of Felix.
It was.
So, it really entertaining race for round 2 of season 4, and yeah, quick race rundown. Ryan, anything to point out?
Well, I mean, we can only just take our hats off to Marcos. You just look at the grid position to the end result. That's one of the best drives ever that I've ever seen.
Can't agree more. Yep.
That was absolutely sensational from him. Also, we'll give a shout out to Felipe while we're here.
Of course, Felipe, great job.
Yeah, we'll give him
I would say in Brazilian or Portuguese, I think they speak, but I don't speak that language, so muy bien. I don't know.
I think we're getting Jarnos asking to kick Marcos for being too fast, so I think we're going to have to issue some penalty points to Marcos for being a little bit too quick on the track.
Marcos, stop.
Yeah, just stop showing off.
Anyway.
We know you're quick, but please can you slow down the last few laps just to
give them a
chance?
chance.
It's looking a bit like Bahrain's start of the season last season because he was very dominant. He was
Everyone
winning.
was like,
he won.
Yeah.
I think he won nearly every race last season.
I think he did very strong. He had a strong season. And just before we go, I'd like to give a shout out to the latest Gprl fan and F1 esports driver Daniel Barrosney.
And
Ryan's new best friend.
Yeah, because it was an interesting story how my second account, he randomly started following. I just texted him and I didn't actually expect him to reply, and when he did, I was just in shock. So I had a good conversation with him. He only plays on PC though, so because I was going to ask him, do you want to join a GPR race at some point and show Marcos that sorry, Daniel is faster than you.
Well, that would be interesting.
That would be very interesting, but it wouldn't be interesting for everyone else because I think Daniel would probably lap about the whole grid, and we'd have to get him in a Mercedes. It would only be fitting to put him in the Mercedes car.
Of course.
But he's a busy man, as he told me, so he wasn't able to watch the stream. But hopefully, he keeps an eye on Gprl, leaves a few likes here and there.
You'll have to send him the link. Anyway.
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's it. Good race. Really enjoyed that. Thank you, Ryan, for joining us. Next week, where are we next week? Let me check the calendar real quick.
I have no idea.
Wow,
Um,
we are terrible commentators.
yeah, we are very bad. We're gonna have to hire some commentators with stronger
Nah,
memory.
nah, we'll keep it. It's fine. We're in Mexico,
Yeah,
Mexico City next round.
Mexico. Ooh,
So
another interesting one.
a lot of
Will we see
overtaking
Marcos dominate
chances.
again?
Yeah, will we see Marcos dominate again? Will Moraine get in the mix? Will Steve get in the mix? Will Raul get in the mix? Will Felix get in the... I could go on forever, you know.
Will and I think the final question: will someone else win
Will someone else
for
win?
the rest of the season?
Yeah.
Will Marcos come second at some point?
Will he come anywhere but first?
I think for next race, we give him a qualifying ban and put a brick wall in front of him at the start of the race, just
Should
to
we
try
just...
and make sure that.
Why
Just
don't
give
we...
him a race ban.
Yeah,
for being
yeah, why
too
don't we
quick.
just straight ban him? Just straight away.
Just for being way too fast. But yeah, I really hope we can get him in the podcast tomorrow, which
Yeah.
will probably be being recorded as the first one is still being processed.
I do
So
apologise. I'm a terrible human being.
that's okay. It's not an issue. For me, it might be an issue for some people that
Yeah.
have been waiting. But
Everyone that's
it's
sat at
fine.
the
It's fine
screens
for
waiting.
me. Yeah.
So, thank you for watching. Hope you did enjoy. Like and subscribe if you are new around here, if you want to see more of this. Same time next week, we'll be in Mexico. Well, no, we won't. You get what I'm saying.
Wait,
Yeah.
they know what you mean.
Yes, we will be in virtual Mexico. And I'm going to go and investigate some clips regarding penalties. So
And
Ryan,
also prepare for the podcast.
of
which
course,
is tomorrow.
prepare myself. Hopefully not die of this illness overnight. And yeah, Ryan, thank you for filling in for me as
problem.
lead commentator today. And yeah, see you guys next week. Goodbye.